Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. So in today's video, I'm going to do the 2022 Northern Hemisphere exam 2 multiple choice questions. So let's get started. So question 1, the function f and its inverse f are 1 to 1 for all values of x. If f1 is equal to 5, f3 is equal to 7, fa is equal to 10, what's f7, so inverse of 7 and inverse of 5, respectively equal? Well, what happens, so normally say f, yeah, and you have 2 points, like let's say, for example, 2, 5. Your f inverse, is they just get swapped, so 5, 2. That's what would normally happen for an inverse. So they swap your x values and your y values. So here, what's happening is that we know that for f, that 3, 7 is a point, and also that 8, 10 is a point, and also that 1 and 5 is a point. Now what we want to find is the inverse, so f inverse of 7 to something that we don't know, we want to find out, and 5, something that we don't know. Now, you remember how they get swapped? So if they got swapped, this x value would have been the y value, which is what's happening over here. So this value must equal 3. Now look at the 5. Your x value would have been your y value. So now it means that question mark is 1. So respectively are equal to 3 and 1. Choose, so for question 1, it's B. If tan theta is equal to -3/4 and theta is between this domain, then cos of theta is. Okay, to do this, I want to draw a right angle triangle. Okay, and I'm just going to rub this part off. Okay, so let's say this is theta over here. Now, what we have is tan over theta, which is SOHCAHTOA, which this means this is the opposite and this is your adjacent. So your opposite would be here and your adjacent would be here. Let's find your hypotenuse. So to find your hypotenuse, it is by using Pythagoras theorem. So it'll be 3 squared, which is 9, plus 4 squared, 16, which will be 5. So this value over here is 5. Okay, now to find cos, we know that cos is SOHCAHTOA, so it's the adjacent over your hypotenuse. So your adjacent is 4 and your hypotenuse is 5. So this is your cos theta. But we need to remember something. So if you look at your tan, it has a negative, meaning that if we draw C cast, if tan is negative, it means that it does not belong in that domain. So it does not belong in that quadrant, meaning that it probably is C. So when cos is C, it's probably a positive. We know it's a positive. In all, it's also positive. But also as sine, it could be a sine too, which would mean that it's negative. So we don't know. So we would say plus or minus 4/5 is your answer, because they could be, it could lie between S, this quadrant, A, this quadrant, and C. Whereas these two will give a positive, but this will give a negative. So which one would that be? Looks like E is your answer. Question 3, the function f with the rule of this has a maximal domain. Okay, any log function, to find the maximal domain is you will look at the inside function and you want to let it be, like you want to solve for x when it's greater than 0, which is -x greater than -16. Because we're going to be dividing by negative, if we divide by negative, what happens is the sign changes. So it'll be x is less than 16. So your domain would be x is an element from -infinity to 16 not included. So that would be E as your answer. Question 4. Let g equal this function where a is a real constant. Given that g blah blah blah. Okay, so g over 2 equals 10. Find the value of a. Okay, let's just focus on this one. So what is first g on 2? Well, g on 2 is 3, 2 plus a, which is 6 plus a. So that's your g of 2. Now we're subbing back g of g over 2, which would mean that 3, 6 plus a, which if we solve, so it'll be 6, 12, 18, 18 plus 3a plus a, 4a plus 18. Now, we know it's equal to 10, so we can equate that 4a plus 18 equals 10, 4a is equal to negative 8, a is equal to negative 2. So your answer for question 4 is B. A continuous random variable x has the probability density function given by... Okay, to do this, it's very easy. Normally use your calculator. So what we're going to do is, normally, to find, we're going to take the integral from 0 to half of the function f of x with the respect of dx, and we know it should equal to 1 because it's a probability density function, and the whole thing adds up to 1. Okay, so going on my calculator, so at first I'm going to define f of x as, so define f of x as a times cos 2 pi, so 2 pi times x plus 3 pi over 2, and so we're going to take the integral from 0 to 0.5 of the function f of x, comma x, when we let it equal to 1. Now, we solved, we don't even need to solve it, but it's a should be equal to pi. So, a is equal to pi. So, your answer here is C. So, So, question 5 is C. The line with the equation mx plus 1 and the curve with the equation intersect at 2 distinct points. The values of m are. Okay, to do this, what we're going to do is equate them. So, mx plus 1 equals 3x squared plus 2x plus 4. And we're going to just bring mx plus 1 to the right. So, it'll be plus 2x minus mx plus 3 equals 0. Now, I would simplify this as plus 2 minus m x plus 3. I'm going to use the, because we want 2 distinct solutions, I'm going to use the discriminant. And we want to let it to be greater than 0. So we want to use b squared minus 4ac to be greater than 0. So your b value is 2 minus m squared minus 4, 3, and your c value is 3. We want to let it to be greater than 0. So I'm just going to put this in my calculator and solve. So we're saying, okay, so solve 2 minus m squared minus, so we can just 4, 3, and 3 to be greater than 0. To be greater than 0, comma, m. So we get m is less than negative 4 and m is greater than 8. So we'll write that down. M is less than negative 4 and m is greater than 8. So your answer is D. Question 7. The graph of y equals f of x is shown. The corresponding graph of the inverse of y equals f, inverse of x is represented. So to do this, one of the easiest way is to draw a y equals x line. So it would be over here. So over here, over here, over here, and mistaken over here. So I'm going to just draw this nice y equals x line. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to inverse everything. For example, I'm going to take that function, so f of x, and pretty much reflect that along the y equals x line. So this over here would look like this. This would go like this. and somewhere around here, we'll have an open circle. Okay, we want that. So we just have to look at the answers and look at if there's one that looks like the red line. So, okay, A is wrong, B is wrong, C, okay, we'll just look at the other ones. D is wrong. Okay, so C or D could be right, but we know it should be, okay, C is right. This one's two below, whereas our one is up, pretty much above. So yeah, looks like C is your answer for that one. All right, the range of the function with the rule of this is contained with the interval. Okay, to do this, I'm going to go on my calculator and I'm going to go on graph. I'm going to write the function, so it is a square root 4 minus x squared plus the natural log of x plus 2. Okay, so we get this. So the range is, if I'm not mistaken, it's from some value to, if I go on menu and analyze maximum, 2.87. So it's contained within the interval, not -4 to 288. So it could only be B or C. So B or D. So because the other ones, yeah, it's below -4, we know, and 2.87, it's not B, it's not contained, so because the maximum B as goes is 2.8, so what does that mean? Our value is 2.87, but this one does not contain it, so it must be D, because it's -infinity to 2.9. Okay. A survey on sleep habits was conducted using a random of 40 people, drawn from a large population. 30 of the survey participants reported that they would like to sleep more. Using the results of this survey, 90% confidence interval for the proportion of the population would like to sleep more would be closest to. Okay, we know that normally they always say 95%, and 95% tends to be like the value, your z value is like 1.96 or something. It was approximately that. So we're going to look at which ones have 1.96 and pretty much make them wrong. So can you see how this one's 1.96 wrong, 1.96 wrong. So it's like less than 1.96. Your z value here is less. So let's say around, I don't know, 180. Something around those values. Or 180 to 128 is very less. Like it's very small, 128. So I would not say it's B, anything with 128. Looks like only A is your answer. And it looks pretty much right. 1.64 is much more, yeah, in that confidence. It looks like it's the most right one. Okay. Is that? And also our p-value, to double check, our p-value is... our p-value is 30 over 40, which is 3 on 4, which is 0.75. So, yep. And, yep, this one had wrong. This was also wrong. Yeah, so it looks like A should be your answer. For probability distribution for the discrete random variable is shown in the table. The variance is... So, the probability distribution for the discrete random variable is... So the variance would be, the variance formula, I'll just pretty much pull that out, the variance formula. So for the variance, the formula for variance is, okay, it is, so your variance of x is equal to your expected value, x squared, minus your mean value squared. What would that mean? Well, so your var x, so we're squaring everything here and multiplying it by these. So 0 squared is nothing, 1 squared is just 0.4, so it'll be 0.4. Okay, plus 2, 0.3. 2, sorry, it has to be 4, because if we're squaring it, so it'll be 4, 0.3. Plus 9, 0.2. Okay, minus your mean value. So your mean value is, we multiply them all, but with their original value. So 0.4 plus 2 0.3 plus 3 0.2, and we all square them. Okay, now putting this in my calculator. So putting this in my calculator, we're saying that, okay, graph, okay. So 0.4 plus 4 0.3 plus, wait, so 4 plus 0.3 plus 9, 0.2, 0.3, wait, 0.2, okay, okay, minus 0.4 plus 2 0.3 plus 3 0.2 squared, or squared. Your answer is 21/5, which is 0.84. So D is your answer. Question 11. The diagram below shows a glass window consists of a rectangle of a height h and width of 2r and a semicircular radius this. The perimeter is this. So the expression for the area of the glass is. So what I'm going to do first is, because we're given the perimeter, let's first find the perimeter. So perimeter is 2r plus 2h plus, okay, we know that the circumference of this circle over here is, normally its circumference is 2 pi r, but we want, it's a half a semicircle, so it'll be just pi r. Okay, so we're going to say plus pi r. Okay. Now, that's our perimeter, and we know our perimeter is 8, 2r plus 2h plus pi r. Now, we want to probably solve for h, because all these values are r, so we would say 8 minus 2r minus pi r all over 2 equals h. Now let's calculate the area. So your area is what? So it's 2rh plus, so, okay, normally the area of a circle is pi r squared, but we have to divide it by 2 because we're doing only half. So I'm going to say pi r squared over 2. Now your area is 2r. Your h now, because we can sub this value in over here, is 8 minus 2r minus pi r all over 2 plus pi r squared over 2. So these two cancel out, so it will be area 8r minus 2r squared minus pi r squared plus pi r squared over 2. So these two are a common factor, so we can simplify this 8r minus 2 pi, so minus r squared. Okay, so we're saying so we're saying like minus 1 plus half, which is negative pi r squared over 2. So which one would give us the answer? 8r minus 2 pi r squared minus pi r squared. Looks like E is your answer for question 11. All right, question 12. The weight of a frog from a certain species have a normal distribution with the mean of it. It is found that 5% of the frog weigh more than that, so which is 77 grams. A standard deviation is closest to. Okay, so what we have is, we know that this value here, your mean value is 56, and we know 77, we have this area, we have 0.05 of these frogs are way more than that. So to find a very standard deviation, what I'm going to do is I'll just sub values one by one. So let's go on my calculator. Okay, what I'm going to do is go menu, probability, distributions, normal, CDF, and say, okay, your lower bound is 77. Your upper bound is to infinity. Your mean value is 56, and your standard deviation, let's pick the first point, which is 3.57, the first answer, equals, so they should equal to 0.04. Nope, this one does not equal, so I'm going to put the next value in, which is 12.77. Okay, 0.05, which is 5%. So I would pick B as your answer. Okay. I just rub that out and put on different. Okay, B is your answer. Question 13. If f of x is equal to g of x, where g of x is a function that is continuous and differential for all values of x, the gradient of the tangent. Okay, so the gradient of the tangent to the graph of f at the point where it crosses the vertical axis is. So it crosses the vertical. We know the vertical axis x equals 0. So to do this, to find the gradient of that tangent, let's find f dash of x. So f of dash of x is equal to, this is u and this is v. So we're going to use the product rule. So it'll be g of x multiplied by the, what we call the derivative of this, which is negative 2x over 2, 1 minus x squared, plus 1 minus x squared multiplied by g dash of x, because we don't know what that is. Okay, now I know that if we sub in 0, this will be g of 0 multiplied by 0. So this just becomes 0. Plus, so if I put 0, it'll be just 1 multiplied by g dash of x. Well, and we have to put 0 there. So it'll be g dash 0. D is your answer for question 13. The graph of y equals sine is subjected to the transformation there is. The resulting graph can be described. Okay, let's expand this matrix. So it'll be x dash 2x minus 2. Y dash is negative y plus 1. So let's solve for x here. So it'll be x dash plus 2 over 2 equals x. So here we would have y equals 1 minus y dash. Okay, so now putting these values into sine x, what would happen? So we're saying that, okay, so if we say 1 minus y equals sine x dash plus 2 over 2. Now, we solve for y dash, so it will be 1 minus sine x dash plus 2 over 2 equals y dash. So, which answer would that be? 1 minus, so it would be 1 minus half x plus 2. Looks like D is your answer for question 14. The probability distribution for discrete random, for the discrete random variable x is shown when a sample of size n equals. Okay. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to add these all and let them equal to 1 to find the value of k. So 5 plus, it'll be 15. So 15, k equals 1. So k is equal to 1 over 15. Now, I know that to change this, the proportion, so we know that p proportion is equal to x over n. And our n value here is 4. So we can say to find x, it's 4 times 1/3, which is 4 thirds. We can say then we want to find the probability for x is less or equal to 4 over 3, which is like 1 point some value. So we're saying we want to find the probability of these two added. So it'll be 3k. And our k value is 1 over 15, so it'll be 3 over 15, which is 1 over 5. So question 15, E. Question 16. Every day, Lucy goes to a school by one of the 3 methods: by car, by bus, or by walking. The probability that she goes by car is this, and the probability that she goes by bus is this. When Lucy goes by car, the probability that she arrives early is this. When she goes by bus, the probability that she will arrive early is this. When she walks, she always arrives early. Find the probability that Lucy goes, so we want to find the probability that Lucy goes to school by car, so car, given that she arrives early. So before I do this, so we're just trying to find the probability that C intersection E over probability of E, which is early. Now we're going to just nicely draw a tree diagram. We have three things she goes by. Well, she can go by car, bus, walking. And there's 2 probabilities left. So she can make it early, she can make it late. So early, late, early, late, early, late. Now we know that the probability that she goes by car is 0.45. Okay. And the probability that she goes by bus is 0.2. When Lucy goes by car, the probability that she will arrive early is 0.6. When she goes by bus, the probability that she arrives early is 0.1. When she walks, she always arrives early. So we can say this is 1 and this is 0. Okay. So what we want to find is when C intersection E. So we want to find... Okay. So we're saying that 0.45 times 0.6 all over the probability of E, which is 0.45 times 0.6 plus 0.2 times 0.1 plus, okay, which here is 0.35 if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? So if we're saying, so 65, we put 3. Okay, yeah, it looks right. Okay, and we can say that 0.35. So putting this in my calculator, we have, so 0.45 times 0.6 all over 0.45, so 0.45 times 0.6 plus 0.2 times 0.1 plus 0.35. We get 27 over 64, which is 16 is therefore A. Move on to the next question. The coordinate of the point on the curve with the equation y equals x that are the closest to the point. So the coordinates of the point on the curve with the equation that are closest to the point of this are. Okay. So, wait. The coordinates of the point of the equation that are closest to the point of this is... Okay, so isn't it just... If we can... So what we can do is we can do this on calculator, for example. So let me just control N this and say, what we're trying to find is if we define, we don't even need to define actually. So let's just say, define the distance. We want to find the closest. So we want to find the closest point. So we want to find the distance of, let's say, y minus 0. And that's all squared. Plus x minus 4 squared. And we want to say given for, let's say, try the first value, which is x equals 0 and y equals 0. Okay, so 4. For the first one's 4. Yep, let's take this and let's change the value. So the next one is 3 root 3. Okay, 2, getting smaller. Let's try the next value, which is 7 over 2. So 7 over 2, root 14 over 2. Root 14 over 2, which we get 1.93. Okay, let's try the next value. So this changes to 15. 2, nope, it got larger. Let's try the last point, which is, this becomes 2 and it becomes 4. Okay, so the smallest value was 1. This is the smallest distance, so the answer is when x equals 7 over 2 and root 14 over 2. So 17 is C. Question 18. At the point where x equals k, the tangent to the circle given by the equation meets the positive direction of the x at an angle of this. Find the value of k. So what is the actual center? So we know it's 0 and 1. And we have a radius of 1. So if I'm going to draw a circle, nice circle and just... Alright, just like alright circle. Something like this. And let's say these are all, so this one's here is going to be the point 0, 1, 0, negative 1, 1, 0, negative 1, 0. So what we want to find is, let's try the value of k, which is negative root 3. So negative root 3 is, it doesn't exist. I mean, negative root 3 is over here. So, which we can't even have a tangent because our graph is this. It has to be less than negative 1 to meet. So, okay, what about this one, negative 1? Well, it will just, the tangent is just nothing. It's like, it's pretty much undefined. So we can take that out because the angle, we want an angle of 135. So yeah, if we do that, that is just like a full-on 180. What about this? Okay, we'll do this. Okay, this and this look all right. What about 0? Well, 0, for both zeros, we just get two straight lines, which is, we're getting only around, yeah, nothing. We're just getting like 90 degrees at that point. Okay, so negative 1 over root 2 or negative, okay. One way to check is, let's look at, all right, how I'm going to check if they are right. So what I'm going to do is go on my calculator. I'm going to Control N and do some, okay. So I am first going to do is, I am going to go on menu, go on calculus, and go down to implicit differentiation. Because we have variables x squared plus, plus y minus 1 squared is equal to 1 comma x comma y. So we get this. That's your derivative. And, okay, we know that, okay, what do we know? That the points, okay, the value, we know that the value k is that, so we know, and the angle is this. So, at the point where x tangent equals this, meets the positive x-axis at an angle of 135, the value of k would be, what can I do here? At the point where x equals, say, the tangent of the circle given by the equation meets the positive direction of the x-axis, okay, so the value of k would be, okay, so what can I do over here? So if I sub in, oh, okay, oh my god, what am I doing? Okay, so, okay, we have, at least this is the gradient, I lost my mind there. So if I put this here over here, and I can find the value of y, which is when x is pretty much equal to, let's try the first value, which, the third value, which we're checking is negative 1 root 2, and that gives us this. And we can solve that answer to 4y, and we're going to pick the positive one because if it was negative, so if it was, we're saying if it was negative, which is over here, the tangent is just not even, doesn't really become 135. So what about, but if it is on top of, let's say here, we've got a chance that the angle might be true. Okay, so we'll pick this point over here. We'll take this y value and we'll put it into this. So we'll say when given that y is this and x is this, we get 1. Okay, so what we're saying is, so let's say we were drawing a tangent. Okay, so this over here, this angle is 1, which means pi over 4. So this angle over here is pi minus pi over 4, which is, which we're just saying again, 180 minus 45, which is, yeah, 135 degrees. So C is your answer for that one. Question 19. Okay, the set of values of P for which has 3 distinct real solution is, okay, I'll do this on calculator. It's much easier to do on calculator. So go on graphs. So go x to the power of 3 and write the equation minus P times x plus 2. And we want 3 solutions. We want 3 solutions. So the first is that the domain is saying 3 to infinity. So if we take P, 3, not including 3. So we only get 2 and we go infinity. Okay. Perfect. So we get, when it's not including 3, but greater than to infinity, it becomes, we get 3 distant. What about if we put it below? We get nothing. We still get 1. So the next B is negative infinity to negative 3. Nope, doesn't. So negative 3 to 3. Nope. Negative infinity inclusive 3. Nope. And 3 to infinity. But we cannot, no. E is wrong because if 3 is included, it still gives 2 solutions. So A is your answer for that one. Last question. Consider the graphs of 2 circular functions f and g shown below over the interval 0 to 4. Yep, so both have 0 to 4. The number of x-intercepts of the graph of the product. Okay. Well, so that's easy. So what can we do is, if we look at so this value is 0, and this value is 0. 0 times 0, it will be in the same point on the actual h. So that's one intercept. So we have one intercept, which will be over this. What about over here? So here we get 0. This is 0, but so 0 times something that doesn't exist. Okay, that's not an intercept. What about 2? So we get here 0. Okay, we get 0. So we have another intercept over here. So we have 2 now. What about 3? Nope, we don't have anything at 3 because that doesn't exist. And here is 0, and this one's 0. So we have another one, which is just 3 in total. So A is your answer for that one. Okay, guys, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helps you in any way. And yeah, please make sure to like and subscribe and like this video. And yeah, have a good day, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.